The truth is about to fall into the wrong hands, and when it does, lives across Port Charles could change forever. A single whispered secret. A pregnancy no one expected. A fragile baby with no known family. And friendships that may never recover. Friday's General Hospital episode begins with tension building quietly across the city, but before the day is over, several people will face shocking revelations that could alter their futures. Because sometimes the biggest storms start with the smallest moments. And today, those moments are already unfolding. At General Hospital, the normally busy halls slow down for a rare moment of peace. Inside one of the patient rooms, Brook Lynn stands quietly beside a bassinet. Inside that bassinet is the mysterious little girl everyone has started calling Baby Jane Doe. No one knows where the child came from. No one knows who her real family is. But somehow, the tiny baby has already begun to change the hearts of the people around her. Brook Lynn watches the infant carefully for a moment. Then something unexpected happens. She makes a request. A soft one. A hopeful one. Brook Lynn asks if she can hold the baby. When the nurse gently places the child into her arms, something shifts instantly. Brook Lynn looks down at the tiny face staring back at her. And for just a second, the entire world seems to stop. There's something about this baby that reaches deep inside her heart. Something that feels strangely familiar. Something that feels personal. Brook Lynn gently rocks the child. A quiet smile forms on her face. And suddenly she feels a connection she didn't expect. But the real question is, why? Is this simply a beautiful moment between a woman and a lost child? Or could there be a deeper reason Brook Lynn feels such a powerful bond? For now, Brook Lynn doesn't question it. She simply holds the baby closer. But elsewhere in the hospital, someone else is already thinking about the mystery surrounding this child. Harrison Chase has been watching the situation carefully. And the more he thinks about Baby Jane Doe, the more something begins to bother him. Because someone out there is missing this little girl. Someone out there may be searching desperately. Chase turns to Dante Falconry. And with determination in his voice, he makes it clear he wants to help. He wants to find the baby's real family. For Chase, this isn't just about curiosity. It's about responsibility. He remembers the tragic situation involving Delilah and her daughter. That memory still weighs heavily on him. And now, looking at this child, he feels the same pull to do the right thing. Chase tells Dante he wants to start searching. Tracing records. Checking reports. Anything that could lead to the truth. But there's one problem. Dante will have to approve the investigation first. Chase waits for his answer. And for a moment, Dante doesn't respond. Because Dante knows something Chase might not realize. Finding the truth could open doors that some people would rather keep closed. Still, Dante can see the determination in Chase's eyes. So the question becomes, will Dante give him the green light? Or will he warn Chase that digging deeper could create more problems than it solves? For now, the answer remains unclear. But Dante does make another decision. One that could change everything. Because later that day, Dante heads to visit someone very important. At another part of the hospital, Elizabeth Baldwin is finishing her shift when Dante appears. Their conversations have been happening more often lately. Sometimes about work. Sometimes about life. But there's always something deeper beneath the surface. Today, Dante may have information connected to Baby Jane Doe. And Liz could be exactly the person he needs to talk to. When they meet, the conversation starts professionally. But slowly the tone shifts. There's a warmth between them. A comfort. Something that neither of them expected to find again after everything they've been through. Dante notices it. Liz notices it too. And suddenly, the discussion about the baby becomes something more. Because spending time together like this feels surprisingly natural. Almost easy. But is this simply two friends reconnecting? Or could something new be quietly beginning between Dante and Liz? The possibility hangs in the air. Unspoken, but undeniable. And while that potential relationship slowly develops, Another powerful conversation is about to begin somewhere else in Port Charles. Over at Charlie's pub, preparations are underway. Tonight is an important night. The pub is preparing for its grand reopening. The atmosphere is hopeful, exciting. But when Sonny Corinthos walks through the door, the energy shifts instantly. Because Sonny didn't come here just to celebrate. He came to ask for something. Sitting across from him is Giovanni Gio Palmieri. Sonny studies him carefully before speaking. Because what Sonny is about to ask might not be easy. Gio has been struggling lately. Especially when it comes to music. Music once meant everything to him. But after recent events, Gio stepped away from it. He hasn't been the same since. Sonny knows that. Which is why he chooses his words carefully. He doesn't want to pressure his grandson. But he also doesn't want Gio to give up on something that once made him truly happy. So Sonny makes a request. Not a command. A request. He gently asks Gio to consider returning to music. Maybe not the violin yet. Maybe that memory is still too painful. But Sonny reminds him of something many people don't know. Gio also plays the guitar. And there's someone who might appreciate hearing him play again. Trina Robinson. Because Trina has agreed to perform at Christina Corinthos Davis open mic night. Sonny suggests that Gio could join her. Just one song. Nothing big. Nothing overwhelming. Just music. For the first time in a long while. Gio doesn't answer right away. Instead, he looks down at his hands. Because Sonny might not realize how difficult this decision truly is. Returning to music means reopening wounds Gio has tried to bury. But deep inside, part of him misses it. The sound. The feeling. The connection. So the real question becomes, will Gio take Sonny's advice? Or will the past still hold too much power over him? That answer may come sooner than anyone expects. Because at that very same open mic night, another surprise is about to unfold. And this one will shake a family to its core. Across town, Trina Robinson has a plan. A sweet one. A thoughtful one. She wants to do something special for her mother. So she arranges a relaxing day for Portia Robinson. A day filled with small comforts. A day meant to help Portia unwind. But sometimes the most peaceful moments become the setting for the biggest shocks. Because while Trina believes she's simply giving her mom a day of pampering, something unexpected is about to happen. Something Portia was never supposed to hear. And when the truth reaches her ears, there may be no turning back. But that revelation is only just beginning. Because somewhere inside a quiet nail salon, a secret conversation is about to begin. And it could change several lives forever. Inside the quiet nail salon, the mood is calm. Soft music plays in the background. Customers chat casually while technicians work. For most people, it's just another relaxing afternoon. But for Jordan Ashford, this moment feels anything but relaxing. Because she's carrying a secret that could change everything. And she hasn't decided who she's ready to tell. Jordan sits beside Ada Justine Turner, who has just arrived with an urgent problem. Justine didn't come here for pampering. She came looking for help. Something serious is unfolding behind the scenes in Port Charles, and she believes Jordan may be the only person who can help prevent it from becoming a full disaster. But before the conversation can move too far into business, Justine notices something unusual about Jordan. Jordan seems distracted, quiet, almost nervous. Justine leans closer and lowers her voice. Jordan, what's going on with you? For a moment, Jordan hesitates. She hadn't planned on telling anyone yet. Not here. Not like this. But the weight of the secret is becoming too heavy to carry alone. So Jordan takes a slow breath. And finally she says the words. She took the test. And the results came back positive. Jordan is pregnant. The words feel surreal even as she says them out loud. Justine's eyes widen. The news is shocking enough on its own. But what Jordan doesn't realize is that this conversation is not as private as she believes. Because just a few feet away, Portia Robinson is standing nearby. And she can hear everything. At first, Portia doesn't react. She simply freezes. Did she hear that correctly? Jordan, pregnant. Portia slowly processes the information. Her mind begins racing. Because if Jordan is pregnant, there's only one question that matters. Who is the father? And suddenly the situation becomes much more complicated. Portia realizes she may now be holding information that could affect Curtis Ashford in ways no one expected. The truth has landed in the wrong hands. Exactly as the warnings predicted. Now Portia faces a difficult decision. Does she keep what she heard to herself? Or does she tell Curtis immediately? Either choice could ignite a chain reaction across Port Charles. And Portia knows one thing for certain. Whatever she chooses, someone is going to get hurt. Meanwhile, at Charlie's pub, Sonny continues his conversation with Gio. The room is quiet. Sonny has already said his piece. Now he's waiting for Gio to respond. The young man stares down at the guitar resting nearby. Music once defined who he was. But stepping away from it felt safer. Less painful. Sonny watches him carefully. He knows pushing too hard could backfire. So instead, Sonny simply offers a reminder. Life is short. And sometimes the things we love the most are also the things we're most afraid to face again. Finally, Gio looks up. He doesn't promise anything. But he does admit something important. Part of him misses playing. That small confession is enough for Sonny. He nods slowly. Because Sonny understands something about healing. It doesn't happen all at once. Sometimes it starts with just one small step. Maybe a single song. Maybe a quiet moment on stage. And maybe that moment will come sooner than Gio realizes. Especially with Trina Robinson preparing to perform. But the open mic night may bring more than just music. Because emotions across Port Charles are already reaching a boiling point. And nowhere is that more obvious than at Maxie Jones' house. The tension inside the house is thick. Maxie is furious. Standing across from her is Lulu Spencer. Someone who used to be one of her closest friends. But today things feel very different. Maxie's voice shakes with frustration. Because from her perspective, Lulu has made it very clear where her priorities lie. And unfortunately, Maxie no longer feels like she's one of them. The issue is simple. Or at least it should be. Lulu has been focusing all of her attention on her new relationship with Nathan West. And according to Maxie, that relationship has started replacing everything else. Including their friendship. Maxie finally explodes. She accuses Lulu of abandoning her. Of forgetting everything they've been through together. Lulu immediately pushes back. She insists that's not true. But Maxie isn't convinced. Because actions speak louder than words. And recently, Lulu's actions have told a very different story. The argument grows louder. More emotional. Years of history are suddenly being pulled into the fight. Old memories. Old promises. Old wounds. And as the tension rises, one uncomfortable truth becomes impossible to ignore. Their friendship may never be the same again. But the confrontation doesn't end here. Because according to General Hospital spoilers, this conflict is only the beginning. More clashes are coming. More accusations. More emotional fallout. The question now is whether Maxie and Lulu can repair the damage. Or whether this argument marks the beginning of the end for their friendship. Back at the hospital, Brook Lynn gently places Baby Jane Doe back in the bassinet. The magical moment she experienced earlier still lingers in her mind. There was something about holding that baby. Something powerful. Something that felt strangely meaningful. Brook Lynn watches the tiny girl sleep. And she can't shake the feeling that this child's story is far from over. In fact, it may only be beginnings. Because if Chase continues searching for the baby's family, the truth could emerge sooner than anyone expects. And when that truth finally surfaces, several lives in Port Charles could be turned upside down. But for now, everything remains uncertain. Secrets are still hidden, decisions are still being made, and relationships across the city are shifting in ways no one fully understands yet. One baby, one pregnancy secret, one friendship on the verge of collapse. All of it happening on the same day. And this is only the beginning. Because as General Hospital fans know, when secrets start spreading through Port Charles, the real drama is never far behind. Before we wrap up today's spoilers, there's one question every fan should be thinking about. What will Portia do with the secret she overheard? Will she tell Curtis about Jordan's pregnancy? Or will she keep the truth hidden, at least for now? And if Curtis does find out, how will it change everything between him and Jordan? Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you believe Portia will expose the truth? Or protect Jordan's secret? And if you enjoy daily General Hospital spoilers, recaps and predictions, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the next twist coming to Port Charles. Because if today proved anything, it's that the biggest shocks are still ahead.